Trump is back in the news with the 2000 stimulus check. He sent an email a few days ago asking his supporters whether they would like to get the $2,000 stimulus check. And that caught my attention because the president hasn't talked about the stimulus for about 4 weeks. And now on January the 3rd, he's back in the news emailing his millions of supporters, reminding them that he wants to send them a $2,000 check and is asking them to send him feedback about it. So I did some research. I wanted to know, is this for real? Is this happening? And what I found may surprise you. Let's dig into it. My name is Kwame Kwade. I am a government benefits expert. For over 15 years, I've been helping seniors get the retirement benefits they deserve. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am glad you're here. Do me a quick favor, go into the comment section and let me know your city and your state. But if you've been watching this channel for a while, welcome back. I am glad you're here. Thank you for your continuous support. Let's dive right in. So I'm going to share my screen and then we're going to walk through what's happening with this stimulus check, because this has been going on for a while and I want to bring you up to speed, and I want to do a couple of things. I want to let you know how we got here and what my research shows about the president's $2,000, because I know a lot of seniors have been waiting for news about this particular topic. So let's dive into it. So the president seems to be dangling this $2,000 check every few weeks, and it's frustrating for a lot of seniors because last year, 2025, you were promised a lot. A lot of promises came from Congress and some came from the president that never panned out. And so we are going to dive into this. But before I do that, I have some breaking news to share with you. This is some exciting news. So we finally released our first magazine. It's called the Senior First Magazine. If you've been following us, you know that we have been promoting one of the central tenets to what we do is that we put seniors first. And now we have a magazine called the Senior First Magazine that we just launched, and we want to get it right into your hands. So we are going to put a link to the comments. There is a ton of good stuff in here, making sense of the 2026 Social Security COLA. There is an article here about living on Social Security alone in 2026. There is 13 ways to save on your groceries in the new year. We have a whole section on technology, best tech gadgets savings for January, and in the corner, in the red, the best places to live in 2026, and so much more. This is a project we've been working on for a long time. We wanted to launch a magazine that really highlights the value, the additional value that we wanted to bring you as part of this community, and it's finally out. So we're going to put a link in the comments. There's going to be a link in the description and in the comments for you to go buy it. So you're probably wondering, how much does it cost? It is $2.99, $2.99. That is not even a cup of coffee, and you get so much value embedded in this magazine. And you know, it's a digital copy, so you'll be able to download it right away and watch it on your phone, watch it on your iPad or your computer, and get all this information right away. But for me, getting my hands on a physical copy is the best thing, because we have been working on this for a very long time, and finally it is here. It's come to fruition. So we are excited and looking forward to where we will take this, because now you're going to be seeing a magazine from us almost every other month, packed with a lot of good stuff that you should know about. So check the link in the comments, check the link in the description, get yourself a digital copy. You'll be able to download it right now and start enjoying all the value that we've provided in there. So that is the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. But let's get into the details. And if you watch this video to the end, you'll be able to win $100 Amazon gift card, an opportunity to win that gift card. I will tell you that at the end. So let's talk about the president. So this is the email that went out. And the president says, I have got a $2,000 question for you. And you can see it came from President Trump. And it says, subject, I've got a 2,000 question for you. Date is January the 3rd, 2026 at 1:40 a.m. which if you know how the president tweets, you probably not be surprised this was sent in the wee hours of the morning. And then here is the body of the email. It says, memo from Trump. This is the $2,000 question. Response needed from you, deadline by 11:59 p.m. And it says, would you take a tariff rebate check signed by yours truly? Respond immediately. So here, and it says send from President Trump. So here's the president sending to millions of his supporters an email mentioning the tariff check again in 2026. That was just a few days ago. And so somebody forwarded this to me, and now I wanted to do a deep dive and see, is this for real? Is this happening? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and walk you through how we got here, because then 2 days ago, the president tweeted this: we have taken in and will soon be receiving more than $600 billion in tariffs. But the fake news media refuses to talk about it because they hate and disrespect our country. They want, and he says all these things about that the tariffs is not being given, the recognition it needs. And if you've been paying attention to the president, he's been saying that he wants to pay the stimulus, right? He wants to pay the stimulus from the tariffs. So he wants to pay the stimulus from the tariffs revenue. And so it looks to me like he's very serious about it. And so let's talk about how we got here. This all started back in July of 2025 when the president went on, I think it was Fox News, I believe, and said that he wanted to send the American public $600 stimulus check. He was so serious about it that Senator Josh Hawley introduced legislation in the Senate to do exactly just that. And here is the part that got a lot of seniors excited. This part, it says that they are going to provide a rebate check this year, which was last year, to American workers and families with similar parameters to the direct payment passed by Congress in 2020. So they were saying that it was going to be similar to the stimulus check that was packed during the pandemic, that went to everybody, including seniors on Social Security and disability. So that was the first attempt at doing this. And then nothing was said for a while. And then in October, the president was back in the news again with an update on the stimulus. This time, he was talking about a bigger number. So he said it would be $2,000 or $1,000 depending on how much money comes in. And then in November, then he came and gave another update. And this time, here it is, Fox talking about it. It says, what Trump is again saying about the possible 2025 stimulus check. And at this time, the president said he was going to do three things. Number one, it was going to be $2,000, and it was going to go to people who make $100,000 or less. So that was all good news, right? And then the holidays happen. We don't hear anything. And then now we're back in the news again with an email that the president is sending to his supporters, asking them whether they want a $2,000 check. Now, there are a couple of things I want to share with you, because I don't believe that the math on this stimulus is adding up when it comes to $2,000. So recently, there was an article that I read that highlighted some of the challenges in passing this stimulus check. So let's talk about it. So it says that 4 reasons you probably won't get a 2,000 check from Trump soon, and one scary reason why you might. But let me tell you what I think. Okay, I think that the $2,000 stimulus check by itself, it's not possible. Mathematically, the amount of money that is coming from the tariffs, it's not going to be enough to cover a $2,000 stimulus check for every man, woman, and child that is eligible. That is just a math. And I don't want to lead people on and make you believe that you're going to get a $2,000 stimulus, because I haven't seen anything that says that he can do that, because the tariff revenue is not big enough to pay that. However, it could be much less. So there could be a stimulus. Possibly the first idea of $600, in my opinion, is feasible, because $600 stimulus is possible given the amount of tariff revenue that is coming in, right? But here are a couple of challenges that come with this idea of a stimulus. The president wants to do a lot of things with the stimulus. He wants to pay down the national debt. He wants to then give a stimulus check. But if you add up the amount of money that is coming in, not a lot of money is coming in. So when you get an email like that, that is saying, inviting supporters to, um, you know, give an opinion about whether they want a $2,000 stimulus, I feel like that's a little bit misleading, because I haven't seen anything that says that it is possible to give a $2,000. I think a $600 stimulus is possible, but there are other challenges that has to be overcome before even a stimulus can be passed. Number two is that Congress has not been excited to do this. I haven't seen any movement from Congress right now that says that they are excited to issue a stimulus check. They don't talk about it, not in the House, not in the Senate. Even the president's own party, I haven't seen Republicans pushing for a stimulus. And so it makes me believe that if Congress is not excited to do it, the only way this can happen is if the president is talking about it relentlessly. And the reason why I say that is that if you remember during the big beautiful bill, the reason why it passed was because Trump could not stop talking about it. And he was applying the pressure, and he was calling people in Congress. And that pressure led to the passage of one of the biggest legislation in recent history. And so, in my opinion, that same level of pressure is needed. So that's like the second obstacle. The first obstacle, of course, is that there's not enough money to do a $2,000 check. There's probably enough money to do a $600 check. The second obstacle is that he's not talking about it enough and not pressuring Congress to do something about it. The third reason is the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court recently heard arguments about whether the tariffs are legal. And some retailers like Costco have already sued the administration, trying to get their tariff money back because they don't think the tariffs are legal. And so if the Supreme Court next year strikes down the stimulus or strikes down the tariff, then the administration will have to return the money that they've collected in stimulus, they've collected in tariffs. And that's going to be a big problem, because part of the problem is that they've already started spending some of the money. They gave money during the holidays to the Department of Defense. So that is what I'll watch out for. So in my opinion, when we're talking about whether there's going to be a $2,000 stimulus, if anything's going to happen, two things will have to happen first. The first one is that the Supreme Court will have to rule in favor of tariffs. And then the second thing is that the president has to push his own party, because they have the entire government. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency. And so he has to push his own party to take this to the finish line. So let me know what you think in the comments about whether you think there's going to be a stimulus. Do you believe the president when he sends an email like this inviting his supporters to, give their opinion of whether they want to get a stimulus or not? And you can see right there in the email with the president's signature on it that he's talking about a $2,000 check. And so do you think that that is even feasible given everything that I've explained? I want to hear from you in the comments below. Here I'm checking in the comments and see if there anything interesting that I can highlight. Uh, so here's a comment from Barbara. Says, you keep saying we are going to get a stimulus check. It's a new year and still waiting. Well, you are right. But the thing is that I am not the one pushing it. It's the president that's pushing it. And he's saying something that is of major news and major consequence, we are reporting what he's saying because he keeps talking about it and he wants to make it happen. I mean, he's emailing millions of his supporters asking if they want a stimulus check. So it is not me saying that you're going to get a stimulus, it's the president saying, and it's 2026 and he started talking about it again. So that is why I am talking about it. Um let's see here. Here is another one. Sorry, I am not convinced we will get money. However, I feel there will be some type of tax credit if you are a filer. Well, you are right about that. And let me share with you that there is tax credit that is available to you if you qualify. And I will explain that to you in a second. So, as part of the big, beautiful bill, there was tax credits that came available and they are kicking in 2026. So when you file your 2025 taxes, if you make a certain amount of money, let me try and find it, you will be able to get, a tax credit. Here it is. So let's review that together. So as part of the big beautiful bill, the president talked about eliminating taxes on Social Security. If you've been paying attention, he kept saying that he's going to cut taxes on Social Security, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that is not completely accurate because they did not eliminate taxes on Social Security. They actually provided 4 years of tax credit or tax deduction. And so here's what that looks like. So if you are a senior over age 65 and you are filing as a single person in 2026 for 2025 taxes, you will be able to deduct up to $23,750. And that is three different taxes that are stacked on each other. The first one is the $15,750. The second one is a $2,000 tax credit that seniors already qualify for. And then the big beautiful bill added a $6,000 tax credit. But here's the problem. You have to make enough money to qualify. And so even though you see that it is very generous, you still have to qualify. So if you don't make more than $23,750 as a senior citizen over 65, then you don't qualify for that. And if you're filing jointly and both of you are over 65, you are going to be able to deduct money if you make more than $46,700 a year. So that's some good news, in terms of help to seniors, but it's not directly money in your pocket. You have to wait till tax time and then figure out if your income makes you eligible for the tax deduction. So you are right about that. Now I am going to go into the comments and see if we have some more comments I can address. Here is Sue Mendez. It's going to take Congress to pass that. Absolutely. When it comes to the stimulus, it is going to take Congress to pass it. And that's what I kept saying, that in my opinion, there are three things you need to look out for. Number one is that the president has to push Congress to do it, but it is not something that is impossible. They have the entire government. They have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So if it's something they want to do, they will get it done. There's no, Democrats are not standing in the way. They did the big beautiful bill through reconciliation. There's a lot they can do through reconciliation without the Democrats. And so if they want to get it done, they'll get it done. That's why I take this email that the president sent very seriously, because This is him sticking his neck out and saying, asking people, do you want a $2,000 check? Right? And that is why I am taking that seriously, because that is extraordinary to ask people if they want it. But of course they want the check, So let me go through the comments again. Hello, this is Matt. Okay, here we go. Let me push this. Hello, I was waiting for the 2000. I have been homeless for a few months, wanted to go with my son. Well, I mean, we are waiting, and my point is that if the president wants to get it done, he will get it done. If he's not talking about it, if he's not pushing for it, then it's not a priority for him right now. Because if he wants to get it done, he'll get it done. Here's another question: Are we ever going to get the Doge checks all 2024? We say we'll get a 2,500. Got nothing. Well, you're not alone. Well, so Doge is a very complicated topic because they came in at the beginning of last year with a lot of promises that they were going to find billions and billions and billions of dollars in fraud, waste, and abuse. And then the president said he was going to send a Doge dividend as part of all the money that they were saving. Here is a truth that you can verify for yourself. Doge did barely saved any money. They didn't find the level of fraud they were looking for. They didn't find the billions and billions of dollars in fraud that they were going to save the government. And Doge, unfortunately, has closed its doors. They shut down their operation 6 months early. So they're no longer a thing. And the promised billions of dollars did not materialize. Now, I know some people are going to go into the comments and disagree with me. So if you do, I want you to show me a report that lists specifically what Doge saved the government and where, because I have not seen any significant report that says that they saved even more than $20 billion, where they were promising 1.5 trillion. That was what Elon wanted to cut from the government, 1.5 trillion in fraud, waste, and abuse. They barely saved $20 billion. So if you have anything, a better report, please share it, because I also want to learn. Again, guys, I want to highlight our new Senior First magazine. I am really excited about this because we have been working on this for a long time, and finally it's come to fruition. You can see, I want to take the glow out of it so that you can see how good this looks. Yeah, there we go. You can now see it fully. And it is one of the best things we've done. And it's going to be a bi-monthly magazine. So every other month, we're going to release a new version. And this one is packed with a lot of value. So let me tell you some of the things you will find in it. We have making sense of the 2026 COLA adjustment. Another article talks about living on Social Security alone in 2026. There is an article there that talks about 13 ways to save on your groceries in 2026, the new year. We have reviewed the best tech gadgets and how to save money on technology gadgets in January this month. And everything you need to know about rising medical expenses and what to do about it. And then finally, we have best places to live in 2026. This is our first edition. We're really excited. You can get a digital copy today for $2.99. We'll put the link in the comments and in the description for you to get your hands on it. There is so much value in here. You will not regret it. So get your hands on our digital magazine for $2.99 in the comments. All right, so I'm going to go back to the comments. Here is another person, Danielle. If there is 2,000 check, it will be just before the midterms, and the Democrats will want a huge spending on several areas. It will be too much to afford. No fingers can be pointed. Well, I mean, when it's an election year, there's a lot of juggling that's going to happen, a lot of backroom deals that's going to happen because people are trying to prioritize prioritize what they want to do. Uh, Here is somebody saying, Woody, 20 billion isn't bad. No, it is not. I mean, every saving is good, right? $20 billion can do a lot of good. My point was that he promised 1.5 trillion. And so when you go from 1.5 trillion to 20 billion, that is a drop in the bucket when it comes to the size of what he promised he was going to do. So no, 20 billion is something and should be commended. Uh so here's Woody again. I live in Kansas, formerly California. Cost of living is so much cheaper in Kansas, but the weather is terrible. It does not compete with the West, but of course the prices are cheaper in Kansas. Yeah, so one of the articles that we have in our magazine is, the best places to live in 2026. And in there you will see that the Heartland is one of the recommendations because it's the math. Cost of living is one of the big factors that seniors are considering when deciding on where to live in 2026. And if you look at price increases and how prices have gone up dramatically in a lot of areas, I think that it makes sense for people to be looking for other areas, even if it may not be the best place that you want to be in, if it may not be the best in terms of weather and other things. Cost of living is a big deal right now, and I agree. So, guys, I want to hear from you in the comments. Um, what do you think the president is going to do about this stimulus this year? And let me hear from you in the comments. Now, last but not least, we've been doing a survey for a while now, trying to understand the problems and challenges that seniors are facing. And we want to collect this information so that we can also publish and highlight what's happening. Like, it's one thing to tell or report on it and create videos about it. It's another thing to hear from seniors directly and be able to say that this is what our survey is saying that seniors are thinking or doing. And so we have an opportunity for you to win $100 gift card, Amazon gift card, by completing the survey. It's a short survey. I will put the link in the comments. There is a link in the description. It takes just a few minutes to finish the survey, complete it. A few questions you need to answer. Very easy to do. And then you'll be entered to win $100 Amazon gift card. So help us compile this comprehensive data. We want to get about 500 people that will complete this survey for us. And then we can analyze the data and publish it. So let me know. Go into the comments, go into the description, and you will see further details. Now let's see here. So yeah, we put the description, the link to the survey in the comments right now, so you can see that. For a chance to win $100 Amazon gift card, click on the link. It will take you just a few minutes to complete this, and you will be able to get it. And the link is also in the description and the comment section after this video. So, guys, one thing I would say is that we're here every day at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. And so we want you to put that on your calendar. You can even get notifications so that you'll get notified when we release a new video. And tomorrow, I'll be back here talking about a very important topic that is going to kick off 2026. I am looking forward to seeing you all here. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday, January the 7th. And complete the survey, get your hands on our new magazine. You'll be glad you did. And we'll put all the links in the description and in the comments. Thank you for watching.